John Wick Chapter 4, in this movie, John Wick, Keanu Reeves, reveals a way to overcome the high table. Yet before he can procure his opportunity, Wick should go head-to-head against another foe with strong unions across the globe and powers that transform lifelong companions into enemies. The cast: Keanu Reeves as John Wick, Donnie Yen as Kane, Bill Skarsgård as the Marquis de Gramont, Lawrence Fishburne as the Bowery Ruler, Hiroyuki Sanada as Shimazu, Shamir Anderson as the Tracker, Spear Reddick as Karen, Rina Sawayama as Akira, Scott Adkins as Killa, Clancy Brown as the Harbinger, Natalia Tina as Katya, Marco Zeror as Chidi, Ian McShane as Winston Scott. Assuming the plot of the most recent John Wick outing offers no curveballs, the tricks are awesome, and Donnie Yen and Scott Adkins are fun new faces. You expect that the tricks and battle movement of a John Wick film will be top level. The Chief, previous kickboxer Chad Stahelski, started out in the film business as a stand-in, all things considered, filling in as Keanu Reeves' trick twofold in The Network. Luxuriously garish trick work is guaranteed, and it's the principal motivation to watch these charmingly thick slaughterfests, unquestionably more so than the plot, which repeats the fundamental construction of past movies, with Wick, Keanu Reeves, cutting his direction through the endless associates of his previous bosses, the high table. However, even by the guidelines of the past Wick trips, this is amazing. Human bodies are flung into moving vehicles. Reeves' twofold tumbles down the whole length of the Sacré-Cœur steps. Furthermore, just to advise us that we are in the possession of an activity ace, Stahelski conveys one broadened, staggeringly confounded battle succession in what gives off an impression of being a solitary shot, the camera drifting above. Stahelski reteams with key groups, including creation originator Kevin Cavanaugh, who holds his affection for neon tube designs and variety coding. However, there's new blood in the cast, most strikingly a delightfully easygoing Donnie Yen, as visually impaired professional killer Kane, and Scott Adkins, who is colossal fun as Killa, a deadly larger estimated German furnished with metal teeth, all the better for biting the view. Most arrestingly, he opens the film throwing a few savage punches, which hit their objective with the resonating nature of chapel chimes bringing the dedicated. Indeed, even at its almost 3-hour runtime, John Wick Section 4 commits so respectably to its self-earnestness that it nearly borders into camp. But the establishment has both the self-assurance and the creativity to procure its intensity. The film's account is negligible. Wick's endurance implies the extravagant agreement out on him present since Section 2 stands. What's more, that has horrendous results for the eventually resigned executioner, yet his nearest relates Winston, Ian McShane, and Karen, Spear Reddick, whose assuredness in the job has consistently felt like a hand on the crowd's shoulder. Another enemy, Bill Skarsgård's the Marquis de Gramont, has shaken up with a request to obliterate Wick at any expense. He's maybe the most wonderful bad guy the series has seen. He wears customized, shining tuxedos and talks with an over-egged French articulation. At the focal point, all things considered obviously, is Reeves, whose natural agreeability has consistently made it simple to pull for a person whose discourse generally comprises of sensational stops, followed by quieted yeahs. Part 4 tosses new blood in with the general mishmash. Shamir Anderson and pop star Rina Sawayama both convey solid turns. In any case, it's difficult to focus on much else when Yen, a legend of Hong Kong film, empties the stock out of his bowl of noodles, lazily saves it, and afterward promptly brings down a whole group of men. Playing a visually impaired professional killer brought into the show against his own longings, Yen generally sheds the firearm foo that has overwhelmed the establishment for the quick speed of his incline toward military workmanship, Wing Chun. It's a complete banquet for the eyes. Administered by stunt organizer Scott Rogers, the activity successions here are better depicted as slaughter long-distance races. The discourse is pretty much as significant as a spiderweb's ringlet interfacing a line of military tanks. Furthermore, when Part 4 slips into by-and-large satire, like how a smack parts head more than once skips off a taiko drum to a wonderful drone, the seriousness of what preceded permits the jokes to land all the better. Stahelski has proposed that this might be the absolute last we see of Wick, the establishment diverging into spin-off movies and network shows. If that is the situation, it will be a realistic heritage very much got. John Wick, Part 4, doesn't attempt to resolve essential inquiries regarding where we come from and how we are doing our lives. It's anything but a thoughtful glance at where we are as public and where we ought to go. But on the other hand, it's making an effort not to be. As a matter of fact, it's extremely mindful of what it is and takes advantage of it to its fullest potential and chose to return to the center preface of the establishment.